The pineal gland is one of the smallest structures in your brain. It is about the size of a grain of rice, shaped like a tiny pine cone, and it rests deep in the very center of your brain. To most people, it is an obscure piece of anatomy, rarely mentioned outside of medical textbooks. Yet for thousands of years across continents and civilizations, this tiny gland has been wrapped in mystery, reverence, and even secrecy. It has been called the third eye, the seat of the soul, and the gateway to higher dimensions of consciousness. If you were to open a biology book, you would read that the pineal gland is part of your endocrine system. Its primary function is to produce and regulate hormones, the most famous of which is melatonin. Melatonin helps control your sleep-wake cycle, telling your body when it is time to rest and when it is time to wake up. The gland responds to light signals, helping your body stay in rhythm with the natural cycles of day and night. This alone is fascinating because it means the pineal gland is in constant conversation with the environment, translating signals of light into hormonal messages that influence your entire body. But to stop there is to miss the deeper story. For those who look beyond basic biology, the pineal gland is more than a hormonal switch. It has been seen for millennia as the bridge between the physical body and higher realms of awareness. Let us go back thousands of years. In ancient Egypt, sacred carvings depicted staffs topped with pine cone shapes. The staff of Osiris, a god associated with rebirth and enlightenment, features this exact symbol. In Hindu tradition, the Ajna chakra, or third eye chakra, is depicted at the center of the forehead and is believed to be the seat of intuition and spiritual sight. In Buddhism, statues of enlightened beings often feature an urna, a dot on the forehead that represents expanded perception. In Christian art, the pine cone appears repeatedly, including in the Vatican's own courtyard, where a massive bronze pine cone, the pigna, stands as a relic from the ancient Roman era. The same pine cone symbol appears in Sumerian carvings, Mayan temples, and even in the art of the Knights Templar. When so many cultures separated by oceans and centuries focus on the same symbol, it suggests they were pointing to something universal, and the pineal gland matches that description perfectly. Biologically, the pineal gland is unique. It is located in the exact center of your brain, between the two hemispheres, in a groove where the two halves of the thalamus join. It is highly vascular, meaning it has a rich blood supply, and it is bathed in cerebrospinal fluid. Even more fascinating, in certain lower vertebrates like reptiles and amphibians, the pineal gland contains photoreceptor cells similar to those found in the retina of the eye. These creatures actually use the pineal gland to detect light directly, which is why it is sometimes called the parietal eye. In humans, while it no longer functions as a literal eye, it still responds to light signals received indirectly through the eyes, influencing our hormonal cycles, and possibly much more. Modern science recognizes the pineal gland primarily for its role in regulating circadian rhythms. When light enters your eyes, signals travel through the optic nerve to a small region of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which then communicates with the pineal gland. In darkness, the pineal gland produces melatonin, helping you fall asleep. In light, melatonin production decreases, helping you feel awake. This is the basic science, but it is only the tip of the iceberg. Beyond this mainstream view, there is a growing interest in the possibility that the pineal gland has other functions. Some researchers suggest it may produce small amounts of DMT, a naturally occurring compound known for producing intense, vivid, and often spiritual visions. This theory could explain why the pineal gland has been linked to mystical experiences, dreams, and altered states of consciousness throughout history. While research on DMT in the human pineal gland is ongoing and controversial, the idea is compelling because it connects ancient spiritual traditions with modern neurochemistry. Philosophers and mystics have long spoken about the pineal gland in reverent terms. The French philosopher René Descartes called it the seat of the soul, proposing that it was the point where the mind and body interacted. While his theory was not universally accepted by scientists, the idea that the pineal gland is a central meeting point of the physical and spiritual self continues to influence spiritual teachings today. When the pineal gland is healthy and active, many spiritual practitioners describe experiencing heightened intuition, enhanced creativity, and a greater sense of clarity. Colors seem more vivid, dreams become more symbolic, and decisions are guided by a deeper inner knowing. These experiences match the descriptions of yogis, shamans, and mystics who have long taught that opening the third eye is a step toward enlightenment. However, in the modern world, there are challenges. Many believe that the pineal gland can become calcified over time. Calcification is the buildup of calcium and other minerals that can harden the gland, potentially reducing its sensitivity. Factors that are thought to contribute include fluoride in drinking water, processed foods, lack of sunlight, chronic stress, and exposure to environmental toxins. Although mainstream science does not fully endorse all these claims, the general idea that lifestyle affects pineal gland function is widely accepted. This is why many spiritual and wellness practices focus on keeping the pineal gland active and healthy. Meditation is one of the most common methods, as it helps quiet the mind and shift awareness inward. Breath work can alter the body's chemistry and stimulate brain regions associated with deep awareness. Sound therapy, especially using solfeggio frequencies like 963 Hz, is believed to resonate with the pineal gland and encourage its activation. Spending time in nature, particularly in sunlight, supports the gland's natural rhythms. Reducing exposure to toxins, eating whole foods, and drinking pure water are also emphasized in many activation protocols. Ancient cultures often combined several of these elements into elaborate rituals. Egyptian initiates underwent purification practices that included fasting, meditation, and exposure to sacred sounds. In India, yogic exercises like Tritaka, where one gazes steadily at a candle flame, were said to focus energy on the third eye region. Shamanic traditions used rhythmic drumming, chanting, and plant medicines to shift consciousness and open inner vision. Modern science is beginning to validate parts of these traditions. Studies show that meditation can physically change brain structure, increasing gray matter density in regions linked to awareness and emotional regulation. Light exposure therapy is already a recognized treatment for seasonal affective disorder, and it works by influencing pineal gland activity. Neuroscience has shown that our brains are highly plastic, meaning they can adapt and rewire in response to mental and environmental input. This is exactly what spiritual practices have claimed for centuries. If you wish to begin activating your pineal gland, the first step is awareness. Understand that it is not just another part of the brain, but potentially a gateway to deeper perception. Give it what it needs to thrive. Expose yourself to natural light in the morning to set your circadian rhythm. Spend time in complete darkness at night to stimulate melatonin. Give your mind moments of stillness each day. Practice mindfulness or meditation to quiet mental noise. Incorporate sound healing or breathwork sessions into your routine. And most importantly, remain consistent. Awakening the pineal gland is not an instant event, but a gradual unfolding. Remember, the goal is not to force an experience, but to create the right conditions for the experience to arise naturally. As the pineal gland becomes more responsive, you may notice subtle changes, a clearer mind, more vivid dreams, an increased sense of connection with life around you. Over time, these subtle shifts can grow into profound transformations. The pineal gland stands at the intersection of science and spirituality. It is a biological organ and a symbol of enlightenment. It connects your physical body to your inner world of thought, feeling, and spirit. Whether you view it as the seat of the soul, or simply as a fascinating part of human anatomy, it invites curiosity and respect. In rediscovering the pineal gland, we are not just learning about a tiny structure in the brain. We are remembering a piece of ourselves that has been honored for millennia. We are acknowledging that human perception is capable of far more than we have been taught. And perhaps by nurturing this small but powerful gland, we can begin to see the world not just as it appears, but as it truly is.